Good evening, welcome to Uganda Diaspora Television. My name is Ronnie Mayanja, and tonight we're privileged to be joined by Mr. Kwatsi Alibaruho, Uganda's flight director from NASA. He's here to tell us his story, what inspired him, and exactly where he sees himself going after NASA. Mr. Kwatsi, you're very welcome to the interview.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. It's a great privilege to be here.
Okay. Now, I wanted to start off by asking you, what actually inspired you to go, of all things, to go into space exploration?
I tell you, when I was very young, one of my earliest memories of reading, when I was 3 or 4, were reading books that my mother had purchased for me on rockets and space and planets, also coupled with a lot of the science fiction programs of the day, and we're talking circa 1976, 77, 78. I was just captivated by them. Programs like Star Trek, like the original Battlestar Galactica series, and various other programs that depicted people working and living in space. It just tremendously inspired me, and I said, I want to have a life like that, or be part of a life like that. And so that sparked an interest in science immediately, which my mother very effectively fed with more books and more activities that are geared toward building my skills and capabilities in science.
Okay. Now, when you tell us, what role your parents sort of played, can you tell us what your dad used to do, and pretty much how they met with your mother to basically give birth to Kwatsi?
Well, I like to tell people that I come from a family that is very militant about education. In fact, sometimes I feel like the black sheep of the family, because I'm actually one of the least educated members of my immediate family. My mother has 2 PhDs. She has a PhD in psychology, which was her first PhD, and then she has a PhD in sociology. And my father, Dr. George Alibaruho, has a PhD in economics, and he and my mother apparently met at graduate school. They both got their doctorates at University of California at Berkeley, and so they met there, and both of them had deep ties, of course, to Uganda. Even though my mother was American, she of course became attached to my father, and they built many friends there. Unfortunately, my parents were separated when I was 2 years old, and I was in the custody of my mother. But my father always remained a presence and a force for encouraging me. And of course, my mother definitely instilled within me a sense of discipline and a great work ethic. And so my mother always used to joke that even though I didn't live with my father, it wasn't very long before I exhibited emergent characteristics that she associated with him, being, of course, a certain curiosity and a penchant for solving complex problems. And so I credit my father with many of my genes,
Okay.
and my mother with actually teaching me and training me and providing me the discipline I needed to maximize my potential.
Okay, now